All right, friends, it's T-Man. It's time for a Blaha reaction video. I'm going to react to the gym lifting, recruiting, fitness, gear slaves video. JasonBlaha. So this is going to be interesting. So JasonBlaha says in this video, you cannot separate size and strength. You can separate size and strength because sarcoplasmic size doesn't make you strong. Only myofibrillar growth does.
Hey everybody, it's Jason Blaha here with Jason Blaha Strength and Fitness, and today I want to chat with you guys and gals a little bit about why you cannot completely separate size and strength. But a quick reminder, if you guys will please click like.
Why we can't completely separate it? You can. If it's sarcoplasmic, it's separated. That size has nothing to do with strength, okay?
Down below, be greatly appreciated.
It's called non-contractile proteins.
If you're not subscribed or following, please do so. And if you'll be kind enough to drop me a comment down below, I'd appreciate it so much. Thank you. Let's get over into this topic. It's a topic I'm very passionate about. As someone who's a strength coach, I absolutely have to understand these things. And people will argue all that they want, but it's like, look, guys, oftentimes people hire me to give them a state record or national level platform for various strength sports. I don't have the luxury of getting this wrong. Let's be clear. Let us be clear. I do not have the luxury, if I want to have a successful business or to pay my bills, to get this one wrong. I don't have the luxury of that. Okay, like a lot of people out there, they can argue it. Your livelihood's not on the line. Like if you get this wrong, your bills get paid. Make sense? I can't afford to get it wrong. I'm someone with an interested party financially because...
Man, Blaha is a loser. Who the hell would hire him to coach anybody? These phony coach videos that he has. I don't believe anything Blaha says because we all know he's a compulsive liar. Why would you believe anything that comes out of a compulsive liar's mouth like JasonBlaha? He's stupid.
Performance of my clients can make or break me. Not an option. So when we start looking at the history of this, the excuses people make, and then we look at the research, you realize very quickly there is no real credible argument against the overlap of size and strength for the individual, right? I'm not saying from person.
Sure there is.
The person, there's not some differences. But I think what people forget is this has been pretty heavily researched, and there was at least one major study where they looked at, really serious competitive powerlifters, like a national level event, and what they found is that they could tell where they were going to rank from a DEXA scan. In other words, they're
powerlifters? Yeah, man. Powerlifting is not bodybuilding. I don't know what he's talking about. Powerlifting is not bodybuilding. And I mean, it is part of bodybuilding, powerlifting. Let's say they're powerlifting. There's very little growth there, if anything. A lot of it, they're recruiting motor units, that's all, just to lift a heavy weight. They're really stupid, powerlifters. Look at these noobs on him. Oh, brother.
Totals like they took 10 power lifters, and what they found is that the DEXA scan predicted how strong they were going to be relative to each other. That's how much of an overlap there is. In other words, it was all about just lean body mass. When they looked at their 10 raw totals in competition, like we're talking raw, no wraps, raw lifting, just a belt and wrist wraps, maybe some knee sleeves, okay? What they found is that their totals in that meet lined up in order with the amount of lean body mass they had. In other words, the person with the highest lean body mass had the best total. The person with the second highest amount of lean body mass had the number 2 total all the way down to number 10. I thought that was interesting. That was done to us. Actually, Schoenfeld and them were involved in that. Okay? That should be case closed if we go, oh, wait a minute. But people say, yeah, but they were all powerlifters. They all had the neural drive. So therefore, since they were all power training, of course there's overlap. Okay, fair. And they'll say, well, how come this bodybuilder isn't stronger? Or they'll use examples of fake lifters. Like they'll use.
Why isn't this bodybuilder strong? He's not a bodybuilder then. He's building something artificial called sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. Are you talking about that kind of strength? But all of these lifters are strong because they're all taking steroids, right? So they all got the same strength. But whatever, man. Bodybuilders are stronger than power lifters, man. Bodybuilders do powerlifting, do isolation, we do calisthenics, we do everything. So we're stronger and more superior than fucking powerlifting. Powerlifting is a joke, man. Shut up, okay?
Who's Anatoly, who lifts bumper plates.
Not only that, but we move for myofibular growth. Real bodybuilders, the fake ones, they do sarcoplasmic, like Blaha, sarcoplasmic training here in his stupid ass garage. Doesn't even know how to build myofibular growth.
Stuff. He's a sub 500 pound deadlifter for the most part. But even then, keeping in mind, it's not like
Anatoly's nobody. He's just some circus clown, man. Jesus.
He's at an elite strength level either, and he's still a ripped dude on a bit of gear.
Yeah, I don't care.
Just covered up and so
They're all
slimmer.
on gear, so they're not really strong. Let's see them do that without gear. That's the reason they take gear, because they can't do without it, because they're inferior. They have inferiority complex like Blaha. That's why he's stuck on TRT.
But, again, and he also has guys on there with fake weights who are fake actors. Like all these jacked bodybuilders, like it's a parody. It's not real. Then you had the up powerlifter guy who I think all of us have realized was faking the bench stuff.
The Oop Powerlifter guy, that's the one I did videos. Remember him on my old channel? Oof Powerlifter. Fuck. And he did fake it. He is a fake. Whatever.
There's good reason to think that he was faking it for a whole number of reasons.
Of course, he couldn't make it at the competitions. He made up all these excuses and everything. It was all bullshit.
People try to use these rare outliers to say, it's not true because this guy had this 415 bench or whatever at 155, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Who refused to ever do it in a sanctioned event and faked prepping for one, keeping in mind he made tens of thousands of dollars in ad revenue on YouTube. Yeah. He made a lot of money off of that fakery.
He did.
Okay? You do.
He did. I would agree. Blaha even remembers him too. I remember him because I did videos on him. One video I did on him, I got more than, I think, 30,000 views. It was insane. And the comments, man, they went on forever because I made one video on Oof Powerlifter. Oh, shit.
Understand that, right? Did anyone not get that? He was making money. YouTube was paying really good while he was doing that. It was the golden years.
It was paying well, yeah.
He made a lot of money.
He did.
Right, that was all fakery. The reality is when you start looking at studies, we find that when leverages and technique are accounted for, there's almost 100% overlap. In other words, so when muscle growth is measured on, say, a single muscle or in isolation on a machine, there's 100% carryover. In other words, if they lock your bicep or your leg, like your leg or your arm into a machine and measure your strength, like how much weight can you move is all out with completely isolated joint. Like they lock you into a preacher curl type device where you're strapped down and you can only move the elbow. No way to cheat.
I don't know.
Or they lock the leg down and you can only do a knee extension.
Yeah.
It's 100% carryover.
I guess.
Meaning there's 100% absolute perfect correlation between muscle growth and muscle size and how much weight you can move locked in. Okay?
Yeah, if you're building myofibular growth, but that is reserved for bodybuilding, man. Most of these people are negative nitrogen balanced anyways. This is all bullshit. Look at Blaha. He's just puffy, man. Eats slave food, lifting these stupid ass weights. If lifting heavy weights builds fucking contractile proteins, then how come he's not getting bigger with every goddamn lift in his asshole garage over here? Because it's bullshit. Saying and doing are two different. I'll explain it like this in life. Saying stuff and actually doing it are two fucking different things. And a lot of people say shit, but they don't actually do what they fucking say. Me, I always did what I said on my channel. When I did videos on sarcoplasmic hypertrophy, I did what I said. When I did stuff for muscle damage, like, damaging muscles, building myofibrillar growth, I did what I said. I always do what I say. When I say that I'm regenerating and my protein synthesis is exceeding breakdown, I do what I fucking say. I don't just fucking sit down and yap on a camera about bullshit, man, bullshit stuff. I fucking do it. I do what I say, fucking. I actually go and I stay in positive nitrogen balance. Yeah. I've tried everything. I've tried all these fucking stupid ass diets and everything. You people know me. You know me from my old channel. You know me on my new channel now. I don't do as much as I've done like on my old channel because I lost my channel fucking due to copyright. And so now it's just whatever. It's just whatever, man. These slave videos and shit. Reaction videos and crap. Yeah. I don't really care much anymore. But I still do what I say.
So on an individual muscle level, it's almost 100% overlap between size and strength, right? So any variation generally beyond that usually involves coordination.
I've never seen Blaha ever build muscle, ever. I see him deteriorating. I see him deteriorating himself by lifting weight all day, increasing catabolism. This stresses you and increases the catabolic hormones. So he's in a deteriorated state. He's deteriorating faster than he's regenerating because I've never seen him regenerate other than his crazy ass videos where he copied me because I used to eat down at the buffet or make those videos, my eating videos. Remember eating in the park, eating with Simon, eating at the buffet. I'd have like tons and tons of eating videos. Then Blaha copied me and he started eating in his old videos, like previously on my old channel. He was eating those fucking yogurts and bullshit cereals and shit on some table. Remember talking to you guys, he would just talk shit. And then he quit doing that. Because it's bullshit, because the food he ate is not enough to fucking keep you in positive nitrogen balance. This is an idiot.
Other than maybe a few genetic
Who
freaks.
the fuck can he train, man? He's so stupid. He couldn't train himself. He's so dumb he can't even train himself. Fuck.
Tiny percentage with some neural drive stuff happening.
Whatever.
By and large, all that other stuff is about.
It's just all talk. It's just all talk. Neural drive and the same exercise over and over again. And those boobs hanging there like bouncing. Look at those lady boobs.
Coordination,
man boobs,
and structure and leverages.
Yeah, sure.
In other words, different people are going to have different favorable
structure and leverages. Yes.
Leverages with insertion points. Arm and leg lengths and ratios are going to affect all of this stuff. How far they're moving the weight, how well they leverage it. But at the tendon level, the muscle pulling against the tendon, it's all muscle mass. It's all size.
It's all muscle mass. It's all size. Okay, yeah. I just don't see it, man. You people see it? Because I don't see it. I don't see anything here. I see skinny arms, no shoulders, okay? That's all. It looks like a body that has never built any muscle. Has zero shape to it, sarcopenia, skinny arms, skinny forearms, no shoulders. This is just stupid. The legs are small too. Look how small the legs are. Sarcopenia, small calves.
Okay, it's all size. It's literally almost everything. It's like 99%. All right, now, do the neural drive and other stuff on the big movements matter? Well, because there's coordination. In other words, people who train only on machines and isolate, they're not as coordinated.
Really? Okay.
It's true. People who don't do really heavy, like 1 to 3 rep stuff, they're not as coordinated. That's true. But it's worth less than you think it is. We're talking.
What does coordination have to do with size or strength? Okay, whatever.
Like maybe 10, 15%.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do we understand this?
No, I don't.
Like 10 to 15%.
No.
Now, does that matter? Oh, heck yeah, it matters. I mean, you're talking about the difference between 500 pounds and maybe 580 or 570, 560.
Everything matters.
Okay?
Everything matters until it doesn't matter anymore.
550 to 575
Yeah.
versus 500. That's significant.
Okay.
But it's still dependent on the muscle mass.
Yeah.
And then they'll say, well, how come this bodybuilder's not so? But then they are when they actually try to lift heavy. I saw that before with Kai.
It's dependent on this muscle mass because it's mostly sarcoplasmic. That's why.
Green's like, I'm a bodybuilder, not a weightlifter, and I don't care about blah, blah, blah. People say, see, look, there you go. And he's so big and he's not strong.
Dude, your muscle, according to how many fibers you have, you get to a point where you can only build so much myofibrillar growth. It becomes astronomically difficult at some point. I can't tell you what that point is. Me personally, I know what it is for me, what it was for me. There, you will reach a point where it's difficult to put on myofibrillar growth. It just is, regardless how much you eat and whatever you're doing there, like lifting weights. You'll just know when you reach it. You'll just know. I don't know how to explain this. And you could get quite a bit of it, but you'll just know when you reach that point where it becomes so difficult to put on any more myofibrillar growth.
You see him incline bench. And
So then what people do is these fake bodybuilders, they try to get really big. So it's the sarcoplasm. It's not controlled by anything, so it can expand massively. We call that non-contractile proteins.
you realize his incline bench was absolutely monstrously elite. Anytime
He took steroids, it binded with the receptor, giving the force production for that bench press. Just like that kid who's benching, he said he was benching almost like 800 pounds. I remember that crazy kid that ended up in a hospital or whatever. Yeah, because he's taking tons and tons of steroids to bench a heavy weight because he wants to show off to everybody. Yeah, but he has to show off by taking drugs because he can't do it himself, okay?
he did grab a really big weight, an incline bench or get on a leg machine.
Oh, he did,
like,
did he?
dude's over here doing hack squats with 600 pounds on the hack squat machine for high reps.
Whatever.
He's incline benching 405 for reps.
Is your current phone starting to feel old?
Reps. He's incline benching 405 for reps.
Whatever.
He was insanely strong while still saying this stuff. Context. Also keep in mind, bodybuilders have oftentimes a lot of fake muscle, a lot of side injections, a lot of synthol, all that stuff, and then it's still illusion.
Sarcoplasmic.
They'll be like, well, how come they're not as strong as this big power lifter or strong man, but they look bigger till you see them next to them, and then you realize, oh, they're just fat without all the show muscles. They just aren't ripped, the big strong man, and they're not injecting tons of stuff into their biceps. Biceps are probably still as big, actual muscle, there's just no oil in it. Okay?
They're performing, but it's a different kind of performance, the fake bodybuilding. They're going on a stage to compete against other people. It's a beauty pageant, whatever you want to call it. So it's a different kind of performance.
Oh, well, that makes sense. And the perfect example, I think, that highlights it. Remember when you guys saw Brian Shaw next to those Olympia guys? They looked like children next to him. But people would look at him in a picture and go, well, how come Jay Cutler isn't stronger than Brian Shaw? He's bigger, but he's not. Brian Shaw was way bigger. He just had more fat, and you realize, oh, wait, he's like 1.5 feet taller and 200 pounds heavier. He's bigger. Bodybuilders are all short. They're borderline midget.
Brian Shaw is fatter. He's just big and fat. Not all bodybuilders, these so-called bodybuilders are midgets. Blah now is taking things out of context. First he loves bodybuilding and now he doesn't love it. Whatever.
They even fake the height they put up for them. Like, they're 5'8", they're really not. They're 5'5" or 5'6" when you meet them. Right? They're pretty much midgets in the open bodybuilding.
No, they're not. Not all of them. There's tall people there, over 6 feet. What are you talking about? Plus, full of shit, man. There are some small people there, but there's also some tall people there. Whatever.
They're not as big as you think. They're not saying they're not really big. They may not be as big as you think they are compared to this big strength athlete.
Look, real bodybuilders, if you meet a real bodybuilder, they're stronger than powerlifters. That's why in the past, back in like 70s and stuff, you saw these powerlifters. They looked massive because they bodybuilt at that time. That's why they were super strong and super massive, because they bodybuilt. Bodybuilding was the way to go for powerlifting. That's what they all did. And then with the time, when it came back, slowly with the time, people, they started, you know, I don't know, they started bad-mouthing esports. They didn't want to associate it with bodybuilding anymore, powerlifting and all that kind of shit. They even did these old bodybuilding shows. They would powerlift. They would do these. They would have to do a power lift of some sort, a heavyweight or something. Even Arnold Schwarzenegger, he entered these competitions. He would do like powerlifting stuff. He was a bodybuilder. The very first thing bodybuilders did was the Big Four. That was part of bodybuilding. Was all bodybuilding was powerlifting. I don't know what era Blaha's from or where he came from, but he fucking doesn't know anything about lifting, bro. Get it? He's just some idiot.
You might look at that big, fatter power lifter who's benching 700 pounds, and then you realize he's...
No, the bodybuilder's benching 700 pounds. Bodybuilders are power lifters. Power lifters are bodybuilders, bro. Fucking man, whatever.
6'2" and 400 pounds. Well, he's bigger than them. Okay? So think about this in terms of your training. There's an enormous overlap. In other words, training for strength will get you bigger. Doing other hypertrophy works and stuff will get you stronger.
Training for strength will get you bigger. No, it won't. It won't get you bigger. It won't get you bigger, training for strength. He's lying, because if that was true, how come Blaha's getting smaller? He's so small.
We have to understand this as lifters and coaches.
Oh,
all right, guys,
whatever.
but that's really all I have to say.
He's a pretend coach, man. Thank God, that's all he has to say. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Ciao. That was a ridiculous video.